Hi Pisces. For this reading, we are going to be discussing what your soul is looking for in regards to a soulmate. Like what would make your soul, you and yourself truly happy, because in this life it's really hard to connect with who we truly are. Some people know this and understand that, and they're always trying to get in touch with our higher self. And then some people don't, so they kind of like, I don't want to say like, reap like the consequences to that, because it's like this is part of the journey with, in regards to life, is trying to figure out who we are and what makes us really happy. And some more times than not, we fall under the illusion of what society, what we believe, who we believe we are due to society. And that's an easy trap to fall under. But sometimes we get these opportunities in our life to really, step out of that and really figure out what works for us. Like, who cares what everybody else is doing? What is considered to be normal, or like, maybe whatever makes you really happy doesn't make most people happy. So it's like you kind of avoid doing that. So my point is that when it comes to true love, your soulmate, your partner, whoever it is, you think of in your head that you want to end up with, sometimes we don't really realize what it is we're looking for a partner. And that's why we always end up in these repetitive cycles where it's like a different person, but the same issue or a very similar issue time and time again. And it's like those repetitive cycles are happening for a reason. Those are specific life lessons, karmic lessons that you signed up for in this life to learn from those specific people intentionally. And it's being shown time and time again in your face, for you to learn, and also for that person to learn. But at some point, it's like something's got to change. So some people get this in life and some people kind of don't, because they're just comfortable with what it is they know, even if that means not being fully happy. If they're somewhat happy, they just kind of settle. And that sucks, because if you were to actually see the potential of your true happiness, like being like so beyond happy, you would probably go for that, right? But usually we limit our beliefs, right? Our manifestations, what it is we can actually achieve in this life. Kylo, stop. Sorry, hold on. Kylo, stop doing that. You have 1,000 fucking toys. Stop it. Stop. There. Okay? Sorry, guys. So when it comes to a partner, it's really easy to kind of get stuck with settling, because sometimes it's like we feel like we get a majority of the things we're looking for with someone, and it's like we kind of don't want to leave that, because it's like, what if we leave that and then there's nothing better, but that is fucking settling. If you're feeling that feeling, you're feeling that for a reason. But, obviously apply common sense. If you're one of those people that just always thinks the grass is greener on the other side, well, then you should look into that, You should check out your natal chart and see, what aspects Venus is linked up to. So anyway, when you're feeling that feeling of like, what else is out there, or I can't find these partners that I genuinely, want to be with, or you're not finding somebody who just, I don't know, just makes you complete, whatever it is. By the way, it's you that makes yourself complete. So I don't mean that. I just mean whatever it is you're looking for, you just can't seem to find. Sometimes in our natal chart, Neptune will kind of, sort of, usually more time than not, be to blame for this. So Neptune is that planet that rules our intuition, our psychic abilities. It also rules over La La Land, okay? So there's a fine line to discern with what's real and what's not real. So depending on what aspects you have aspects in your natal chart, meaning the energy it lines up with another planet. So I'm just going to give you a broad example that I keep giving in other videos. If Neptune squares Venus, Venus being the planet that rules love, aesthetics, beauty, money, all things beautiful. So if it squares it, right? Square is that aspect in astrology where it's a strong energy. It's like, usually more times than not, it's like a strong lesson is going to be learned here. You're going to make repetitive mistakes within this, and then it's going to happen so much that you're just going to master it. When you have squares in your chart, you're meant to be really shitty at that thing for the first half of your life, and then you're meant to master it, and you're meant to be really, really good at it. So let's just say it squares Venus. Neptune squares Venus, right? It means there are tons of clouds, tons of fog around the perception of the person you're dating, seeing, in a relationship with. You may idolize the person you're with. You may tend to lean towards their positive qualities than their negative qualities. And it may feel so fucking real. And I swear, I trip out on this because I see this in my chart and I'm like, nah, oh my God, you know? And the thing is, it's somewhat real, right? Because I think about me and I'm like, well, I'm psychic or I'm intuitive as hell. Like, what the hell? It's because it's not wrong, whatever it is you're seeing, if this is what you feel is your energy, right? I'm just giving you an example as to how this works. You may be seeing that person's higher self. You may be seeing who they truly are, right? Because we all have, our soul is our truest light. And we're always trying to connect to this in some type of way. That's when the morals come in, right? Good versus bad, or right versus wrong. And we try to make these right decisions, and we know and we don't, blah, blah, blah. So you may be idolizing people, but it's because you're focusing in on the person you know they could be. So you're in love with their potential. But sometimes people in this life do not measure up with their higher self, with their truest potential. It just sometimes doesn't happen that way. Some people are meant to. Some people are never going to be open-minded to like all this spirituality stuff. And even if they're not spiritual, it doesn't matter. Everyone on some type of spectrum is trying to be their better self, which is their north node, the better version of themselves. So we may get caught up in the illusion of who we think they are and just focus on the pros of them instead of the cons. But the thing is, sorry about the background noise, the pros and the cons is what you have to actually look at. There needs to be balance within that, right? Because if you're just focusing on the good things, it's like the shitty things may actually outweigh the good things, but your Neptune energy, there's fog over this shit because you're so in love. Okay, I'm gonna close the window. I'm getting annoyed. You're so in love that you're just like seeing this fog, and it's like you just can't see somebody clearly. So what I used to do after every breakup, I used to always, I never used to like hop into another relationship. I was never that person like to get under somebody, to get over somebody. Like it just never worked. I was never into that. I always like to reflect and think about like what it is I learned from that person, the things I want in the next relationship and the things I don't want in the next relationship. And you may be doing these things too, but when you get in that next relationship, you may kind of forget about those things. And then you're then losing sight of your boundaries. So then that's your fault, right? At the end of the day, it's like when you forget about the boundaries you have in relationships, it's like you're basically telling somebody they could walk all over you and mistreat you. And people don't respect people. It's just kind of honestly all within all of us. We just don't respect people who don't respect themselves. It sounds kind of harsh, but really we all do it. So it's really important to understand and stick with those things that you expect from your person, the things you will never tolerate, and maybe the things you can compromise with that person. So I want to read to you what I wrote a few years ago. And again, I myself have backed down from my own expectations just because, these things are supposed to be in your face to remind you every day, but you know, I don't keep this out. I don't. But somewhere intuitively, this is going to stay in the back of your mind. And this is usually when shit goes down, is when that person isn't sticking to these things that you expect. But it's your fault because you don't stick to these things either. So anyway, I wrote, when I find someone who can make me laugh, smile, and who has very similar goals as mine and actually acts on them, then I have found my match. Someone who challenges me in good ways and someone who accepts me for who I am. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I have then found my match. So then I also wrote, we're inspired to understand what we can't comprehend. I feel like this is what holds us back. This is what keeps us staying longer in relationships than need be. Because sometimes if we're focusing too much on the pros, or it could be the opposite for you, you know, hold that energy how you see fit. We're just trying to figure out, like, why can't this work? Why can't this work? I love this person. I really love this person. I like this about them. I like that about them. But it's just like something doesn't feel right when I'm with them, or we just can't make it work. It just can't work. Something always happens. So it's like we stay longer trying to make it work. And it's like sometimes it's just like, it's not meant to be that hard. Relationships are, you know, with your soulmate, it's like, you're gonna have tough times, right? Like, it's a human experience. Life is hard. Relationships are gonna be hard, but they shouldn't be so difficult. They shouldn't be so hard. There shouldn't be this contemplation of like, do I want to stay? Do I want to go? Like, you really, if you're at that point in a relationship, you really need to reflect and think about, why do I not want to stay? Why do I want to go? What does this person offer me? What do I expect? And where am I to blame? You know, blah, blah, blah. And really like look into that, because time is the most important currency of all, right? We hate when our time is fucking wasted. That's usually the worst part of when a relationship ends, right? When you heal and you're good, you're just like, oh my God, how many years did I put into this person? But you know what the higher perspective of that is? How many more years could you have put in? And it's like, what would you have been walking away from then at that point with that person? I think about those things and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. It's okay that we were together for 2-3 years. Like, it's okay. It's all good. No worries. No foul play. We're good. But if there's something calling to you where it's like there's something uneasy, it's like you need to look into that. That is always your higher self talking to you. It's like your higher self is going, hey, 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 are we going to talk about this? Are we going to be real today or what? And it's like what we do, our ego does is, no, I hear you. I hear you. I just need to figure it out because like I feel like I'm meant to be with this person, and just like I need to figure out why you don't feel that way, because like I feel I'm meant to be with this person. And that's usually how it goes down. And then usually we ignore our higher self and we waste a few more years with somebody, and then we're like, oh, that's why. So what I want to do is I want to pull some cards to see what it is your soul, what will make your soul happy in a soulmate. Like what it is you're actually really looking for that you may not be aware of, or you may be aware of. And maybe this will give you food for thought and something you could think over the next few days. I also printed like random quotes and things from my first spiritual awakening back in 2016. And I don't care if those come up as reversals. So, all right, so let's get to it. What would make your soul happy within a soulmate? Two of Wands in reverse. Okay. The Star in reverse. Oh, okay. The Moon in reverse. One more. 10 of Coins. Shit is like blowing in my face. Like, come on. It's like literally going in my nose. Hey. I hate when Wands. Okay, let's pull some of these. Oh. If another can easily anger you, it is because you are off balance with yourself. Oh, I feel like this one's gonna... Relax your mind. Meditate for 5 to 10 minutes. Doing this will increase brain power and have your mind at that relaxed state. This step is optional, but you'll have to use your imagination. Yeah, for real. I have noticed a huge difference. If I don't meditate, even for 5 minutes, like, oof. Stop going back and forth on your ideas because of fear. You're confusing the universe. Decide what you want and stick with it. You'll notice things starting to shift in your favor. You know what's insane? So I printed this in 2016. I definitely did not know the full meaning of this. That's funny. What did I interpret this as meaning? Stop going back and forth on your ideas because of fear. I probably just thought of that part. You're confusing the universe. Decide what you want and stick with it. You'll notice things starting to shift in your favor. Okay, so. All right, I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to channel. All right, so we got 2 of Wands in reverse, the Star in reverse, the Moon in reverse, and then we got 10 of Coins. And then we got these. Let me make sure the camera has it. Pilot will go in a second. Annoying. So annoying sometimes. Okay. All right, I'm going to close my eyes. What are you looking for? What is your soul looking for within a soulmate? I'm definitely seeing your eye in the dark. And your eye is turning into a clock. Now you're like in a well, looking up. What are you looking for in a soulmate? I just feel like I'm feeling fear because of it's like all in the dark. So I feel like something about not being alone, like being chosen. And I feel like that kind of makes sense because it's 2 of Wands in reverse. So I feel like when it's 2 of Wands straightforward, it's like a choice needs to be made. Like you want to be the choice. You want to be, you want to feel like you're it or something like that. Like there are no others. Like it's just you. And I feel like there's fears around this. I feel like this is why it's coming through. I'm definitely seeing a tonsil in the middle of 2 people. And it's upside down. Like 2 people are upside down and there's a tonsil. So it's like you don't want to be left in the dark or something. Like you want to make sure I feel like I'm getting abandonment. Like you're not abandoned. Like you want a partner who lets you know where you guys stand. Maybe in general, but maybe also when things happen. So you're not left in the dark. So you know, and you can feel good and not like uneasy or something like that. Like there should be some type of verbal communication. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that hope card. Like there's hope. So it's like reassurance, I feel like. I'm seeing a home and I'm seeing a dog. So I feel like you need a partner that you can, a soulmate that you can trust, a soulmate that you can have a home with, you know? I feel like I'm seeing like, again, like somebody, you can't have somebody who comes and goes, something like that. Like there's this your soul is looking for stability. That's what the message is, really. Feeling important. Seeing a crown. I feel like I'm having trouble seeing these. There's like illusion with these things. So maybe it's like you're not aware, or I'm gonna open my eyes, like not in touch with these things. I'm trying to make it out, but there's a lot of clouds here. If another can easily anger you, it is because you are off balance with yourself. I'm gonna go back to this one. See if I could see this. Something about communication. I'm not too sure. So maybe not talking, because I feel like I'm seeing like messy messages and like headphones, like tuning it out. So it's like, I'm gonna open my eyes. Like maybe you're not able to communicate clearly or effectively because of this. I feel like all these three things are kind of connected, you know? If another can easily anger you, it is because you are off balance with yourself. Relax your mind, meditate to 5 to 10 minutes. Doing this will increase brain power and have your mind at that relaxed state. Stop going back and forth on your ideas because of fear. You're confusing the universe. Decide what you want and stick with it. You'll notice things starting to shift in your favor. It's like all about your mind. It's all about balance. So I'm going to go back here. So I feel like what I'm picking up on is that what your soul, like what makes your soul happy is knowing that you're the chosen one. Like there's nobody else. It's just you. It's like, and when, you know, things happen, it's like you need to not be kept in the dark about it. You need to know where you stand in that person's life. Like you guys are still, you know, one type of thing. Yeah, you see, it's like, it's almost as if like, oh, no, I was going to say. So yeah, so the moon in reverse is, you know, getting the truth. Things becoming coming to light. Oh, was this in reverse? Yeah, it was. Yeah, coming to light. It's like you need to know that there's hope, that there's where you stand with somebody when things get rough. I feel like this is all talking about like what you look for in a soulmate when things go south. I really feel like that's what's happening right now. Ten of Coins. Oh, this was the home. This was the home. Oh my God, the dog, the dog. Yeah, it's like you need to feel stable with your soulmate. You want to feel like you can trust them, which, you know, of course, I feel like, you know, we all feel that, want that, right? We all deserve that. So it's like, in order to build a home with somebody, stability, it's like you need that trust. So this I thought was crazy a few years ago. So I was like, okay, I'll just do the 5 minutes. And I don't know why, like, I mean, obviously it's out there as to why, but even 5 minutes actually can change you from reacting like hastily. You know what I mean? Hopefully I said that right. Like, you won't be fast to react in a negative way, even when somebody pisses you off. I swear to God, even 5 minutes. So it's like, you don't need to necessarily have music in the background. You don't need to have a guided meditation, although that's what I would recommend. It could just be silence. I recommend guided meditations, honestly, but this will do wonders. So I feel like this is coming up for a reason. This may be something you need with relationships because of how your mind works. You may have one of those minds that's just like in overdrive. So this may help you like for life, you know? Like I feel like that's why it's coming up. Okay, let's see what this is. I'm seeing somebody's eye look at something. And it's exactly like that energy, kind of just like all over the place. Like the eye widens, it then gets lower, the eyelid, then it's like sad, then it's like calm. It's everything. And now it's like we're going into the eye, and I feel like we're going into your mind. Oh, I see two children. Like it's in regards to love. Like, and I see a caterpillar in the background. Like something's like in the process of transforming. This is so cute. So and in the background is the universe. I love that. That was adorable. So stop going back and forth on your ideas because of fear. There's some type of fear in regards to this abandonment issues. It stems from childhood. I would look into that because there's a reason this is coming up as a little boy and a little girl, and they were being super cute. Oh my gosh. Decide what you want and stick with it. You'll notice things start. Where did my mind go? Where did I go? I'm so sorry. Decide what you want and stick with it. You'll notice things starting to shift in your favor. So, you know, it's either your energy or it's not. But what I'm picking up on is, so this is in your mind. This may be part of your subconscious mind. So you're either in touch with this or not. So it's coming through that there's abandonment issues here. And this is what keeps you in fear with stability. So you may have this like perception that with relationships, that every time something goes wrong, that person's just gonna leave you. And then it's like you're left feeling hopeless. You're left not knowing where you stand with someone. And I know how that feels. That's like, it's horrible. It's a death. And it's like, but it's not a death because you're left hanging, right? It's like, are they coming back? Which I think is worse than a death, because at least with a death, you know it's over. So, but this is not the case for every relationship, and that's where the misconception is. This is why it's kind of like a warped perception. This is why people, you know, this is why people need to work on their childhood wounds. And it's like, it's funny because people who aren't in touch with themselves like that will kind of like make fun of other people low key for things like that. But it's like the people who think they have no childhood wounds, stay away from those people. Those people are the most dangerous people of all. So, you know, Chiron is that, you know, I forgot, it's not technically an asteroid, I forgot what they call it, but it's that part in our natal chart that we, you know, we read up on it and like we can resonate with it, but we don't really sometimes see how it's playing out in our everyday life, or some of us we will. So it's really important to see the aspects Chiron lines up with your chart. So if it's like, for example, if Chiron is squaring the moon, well, the moon, for example, is our deepest emotions. This is considered to be our shadow. This side to us, whatever energy your moon is in, right? Let's say it's an Aries moon. It's like only people closest to you are going to see that side to you. So if Chiron is like squaring, you know, the moon, it's like you're going to have a rough time, because it's like you already have deep emotions within the moon itself. And then Chiron is unhealed wounds. They're basically open wounds that you're not aware of because they're playing out in your everyday life. So it's like there's some type of fear here that you're going to be left in the dark in relationships. And this is actually subconsciously what keeps you away from wanting to commit. That's what's coming through. And this may, on some type of level, make you angry because maybe you're unaware of this, or you are aware, but it's like you're having trouble healing it. You see all the children? So not everybody's gonna leave, you know, and I know personally from having that type of childhood wound, it's kind of hard to just accept that. But I would say that it's like you just have to have trust. You know, I remember for years, all my friends would have these fears about love and relationships and opening their heart again to other people after they were burned. And I swear to you on everything, I never understood that. I was like, that's crazy. How the hell are you going to let this idiot like mess up how you feel about love or the next person? Like, that's insane. Don't let that person affect you like that. Like, that person is not worth the energy to affect your next relationship, because it will. And you know, it's funny because as sensitive as I am as a person, I'm very insensitive looking back at some of these topics, these real deep topics. And sometimes it's really hard for people to relate to other people unless they go through these things themselves. So I never understood about these attachment issues, these fear of opening your heart. I never was that person consciously. I was never that person consciously. I never knew that subconsciously every relationship I was going into, I really always felt they were going to leave. I always felt they were going to leave because they were going to think I was boring. You know, they were going to leave because they already got me. So it's like, okay, conquest fulfilled. They're out. You know, they're just going to leave. They're going to cheat. They're going to, you know, it's like I was carrying that, but I wasn't in touch with that part. To some degree I was, but like a smidge. It wasn't big enough. I always had that attitude where it's like, no, I'm going into this relationship with an open heart. Like, I deserve love. I deserve this. And I really believed the lies I was telling myself, even though they're not lies. You know, we all deserve love, but sometimes we really don't realize that we're actually telling ourselves another story in the background of our mind, and it's playing out in a different way. So whenever there's any type of fear or some type of hesitation with anything in life, it's like that's worth looking into. There's something there. So what I would suggest to you is, you know, what has gotten you to this point? Do you feel like you're always being abandoned by people? And are you actually being abandoned by people? Or are you that person who leaves first because you're afraid they're going to leave you? Because that's another thing too. I was like, oh shit, you got me, psychology. So what I would do is I would create a list of the things that you're looking for in a partner, the things that you are not willing to compromise on. And they have to be rational things, right? Like, let's not be crazy, okay? And then the things that, you know, you will not accept in a partner, you know? And then knowing the things that you would maybe compromise on, right? So I'm telling you right now, this unfortunately will hold you back in all connections, all relationships. And that's just how it works. It's going to play out in those tricky type of ways because this is considered to be a shadow. And if this is something you don't understand, I would look into that. All right. So that's what I got for you. I hope that helped. I hope that resonated.